We've been looking at the market all through the week and trying to gauge what the forces that be are indicating. We've been trying to read the tea leaves, so to speak, but we won't have to soon. We'll have the results of the exit polls over the weekend. And of course, remember yesterday, the volatility was quite significant because it was the end of the May series. The question is, we've moved from very close to 23,000, over 23,000 levels to about 22,500 below that mark today. Can one read anything from the way that markets have behaved over the last week, or is this par for the course?
You know, Alex, just that data, and you know, we pointed it out as well. Samina mentioned it. The FIs have started the series with shorts of, 3 lakh shorts, so to say. This is a very large short position. The last 3 times, somebody just told me this statistic, the last 3 times this happened, the Nifty's seen a massive rally after that. So
after that,
yeah, and of course, subject to, of course, fundamental reasons working out, etc., and stuff like that. So if the exit polls and the eventual outcome is not non-conducive to the markets with such large
double negative there, not non-conducive.
Not non-conducive.
So as markets expect.
As markets expect, or slightly better than that, because everything is a possibility now, right? The last few days, and Tamanna would have a better sense there, but the last couple of days, 48 hours, because as usual happens ahead of the election, rumors fly around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if it comes out on par, then, you know, don't be surprised if there is a very large rally as well coming into play.
So then let's put things in context, right? You were saying earlier in the week, and I think it bears reiterating several times, phase 7, it's not done and dusted, it's incredibly important.
It is important. It is incredibly important, despite all of the narrative that you're going to see from both sides, the 2 major alliances saying कि बस हो गया है, हमारा हो गया है, ये हार गए, हम जीत गए. So everyone is going to say that, but remember, it's their job as politicians to go out and campaign.
Yeah.
It's your job not to look at WhatsApp forwards of various numbers. All the exit poll numbers you see, think about it, 57 seats will still go out and vote. So how can you believe any exit poll number decisively? The last opinion poll held would also have been several weeks ago. So just the basis of that data would not be accurate enough to look at. So with that warning or whatever disclaimer in place, 57 seats go to polls tomorrow. They're crucial because if the BJP has to top its performance last time round, okay, it has to go more than 3 or 3 seats on its own, and that's the best case scenario for markets, as we've seen from a number of brokerage notes. Then they have to increase seats where they haven't already capped. So if I say, so for example, Gujarat, Himachal, a lot of states, they're already, you know, pretty much got all of the seats. So there's only one way to go down statistically, and that is down. Yeah. So where do you have to increase your seat share? You have to get more seats in Odisha. And this time it's interesting because the BJP and the BJD are fighting separately. It's Naveen Patnaik on the other side and the BJP on the other side. So that's an experiment when you have to see which way it goes. You have to get more seats in West Bengal. They've already been making very consistent headway in West Bengal. Remember, a few days before the poll, Mamata Banerjee said, I'm not part of the India alliance.
Oh.
If need be and if required, I'll come out and support. Why did she distance herself? Because she wants to make sure that she doesn't lose any ground in her own state. That's you know, her hallmark. So the BJP has to push more there. They've done very well in Assam. Can they increase their seat share there? So some of these states have seats going in, and you know, in the last phase. And this is where you sort of top up. And I wrote a piece for the website as well. Please go and see it if you can. Please go and read it. And one of the people I quoted Yashwant Deshmukh, and this is how he put it. Phase 7 will determine the difference between a majority and a comfortable majority.
So why don't we lay out those scenarios, Tamanna? Because at this juncture, we're kind of setting the stage for what you will glean from the exit polls. So I would think that the only thing that you can do at this juncture is scenario building.
Yeah. So scenario building is something that I think has been available a lot. You have the top, you know, brokerage houses doing that. We put out a detailed piece on what each of them are saying. And the only difference I would say from 6 weeks ago or 7 weeks ago is that your best case scenario has shifted lower. Nobody today is talking about 400.
400.
Nobody is talking about 400. If it happens, big bonus from a market's perspective. But that is not your base case. Your base
I
case
don't think
has
that's even a
moved.
best case scenario right now.
It's not even a best case. So maybe a bit of reality has come in there, that a political slogan might not translate into reality.
What is the best case though?
So let me put it this way. The worst case scenario from what I've understood is the BJP alone not making 272.
Right.
Even if the alliance makes a majority, and which is constitutionally enough to run a government, BJP by itself
To
sub
spell this out,
272 is a problem.
to spell this out for those that are unfamiliar with the politics of it, why would this not be a good deal?
Well, because then it restricts the BJP in policy making if they're dependent on their allies. This is a party which has been run by a very strong leader, a government run by a very strong leader, and then if you have to go into a UPA2 kind of situation where you have to keep your allies happy, then it becomes a problem to make decisions the way you have
Portfolios become a problem.
Portfolios, etc., policy decisions. So, I mean, there could be any kind of views on whether whatever's happened in the last 10 years is good or bad. I'd leave that to the politicians and to the political debate. But you've been able to do what you believed with conviction because you have the numbers.
Yes.
So you need the numbers to continue doing that. So that's what the street is going to see if they have rewarded policy continuity and want to be able to do. So that's the worst case scenario. Anything above 303 for the BJP, that shows that for a third term, after 10-year incumbency, if you can top your tally, I think that will be seen as very positive. I don't know. What you think?
I just have a question. I don't understand these things as well as Tamanna does, but I just have one question to Tamanna or to both of you. Similar jitters ahead of the state election verdict.
Yeah.
It came up much better. Then there was the temple inauguration in January. What has changed between then and now for the market to get for people to get the jitters? That's something that I kind of fail to understand. But it's an interesting question. Any thoughts there, either of you?
So, I'll tell you what may have changed is, for one, you have to understand, and this is what a lot of political analysts were telling me, that difference between 2019 and 2024 is that more voters have a smartphone and 5G, 4G.
But they did in December as well, right?
And availability to social media. So the opposition has gotten its act together in terms of dissemination of its communication.
And it's what I've also heard is that it's very different from 2019. They weren't as aggressive in 2019.
No, but this alliance was not.
Sure.
What's also happened since December is that though they started on it late, they did hammer out their seat allocations. So they now have a formula. The difference from December, and the reason there were jitters in December at all, is because in 2019 December you had the Congress winning 3 states. So which is why you assume,
the state elections,
Chhattisgarh, they've won very strongly in 2019, they might keep it. That was a complete surprise.
Yeah.
So there was a positive surprise based on past precedents. Here your past precedents is a very strong outcome for the BJP. Yeah. Now in the best case scenario, after 10 years, will there be no anti-incumbency? So which is where the question comes up.
Let's see.
So I guess to a certain extent you have more time to think about it, Niraj. That's my only take. And there are so many headlines that you've read. There are, as Tamanna has pointed out, so many debates that you're listening to, and maybe you've had to question your own understanding and your own expectations. So, but we'll know soon enough whether that comes to pass.
Political assessment is the muddiest thing to do.
It is.
We often
Psychologists have a very hard job.
I mean, it's part kite flying, honestly. It's part guesstimation, and the thing is, it's a zero-sum game, right? You can say anything today.
Yeah.
No one's going to hold it to you on June 4th.
Yeah.
So that's all right.
All right. So there you go. But at the same time, hopefully, we've kind of set the context and the stage for you to understand what happens over the weekend, the exit polls. As we've said repeatedly, we will be live on the weekend at 8 p.m. on Saturday and 10 a.m. possibly on Sunday to bring you everything that you need to know ahead of the start of trade in the next week.